The Manor House in County Durham had given us all the fright of our lives. When we first arrived, the crew were certain that nothing paranormal would occur. How wrong we all were. This quaint pub and restaurant seemed a hotbed of unexplainable, frightening events.
Well, I just arrived at the Manor House. It's a fantastic building. It's very old. There's a lot of stories to it. Some of the hauntings are quite nasty. Certain stories. The most alarming is that of a little boy who's coming here later on. He's only 7, and he apparently was thrown out of bed by his throat. So we kind of look forward to getting into that room later on.
When the crew arrived, my first impressions were this place isn't haunted. It's just it's like a beef eater, just like your average pub. And it just looks so small, and it's hard to imagine a place this small to be haunted. Anyway, they were my first impressions. But having spent the day here, I have to admit that having spoken to some of the eyewitnesses and having heard what the young boy said, it sounds like we're in for a good night.
So far, so good, as always. But the difference is here is that when you go upstairs, you do get a sense of, I don't know, I couldn't imagine being up there on my own at night, and I certainly wouldn't want to sleep here. There is something odd about upstairs. It's fine down here in the bar area, but upstairs I don't like it, and we've been here all day. The lights are on, so I don't know what tonight's going to hold.
Crew morale is good. Everyone's busying themselves, running around. So I think we got a hard morning ahead of us, and hopefully we're going to take it a little bit easier this afternoon. The way these shoots go, it tends to just be solid all day long.
I'm actually feeling quite positive about this place because I think stuff is going to happen because there's a lot of poltergeist activity. And for me, I think that'll be a first if we do catch something on camera tonight. Brilliant, you know, that'll be the thumbs up. So I'm hoping we'll actually get stuff on camera. Me and the rest of the crew will actually witness stuff. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, brilliant. I mean, I'm really excited.
To be honest, I had a look at the place. It didn't seem very sort of scary to look at or anything. Being in the place again didn't seem really scary. It seems like a normal sort of bed and breakfast type hotel. But the stories that we've heard surrounding the place sort of tends you to start thinking differently.
Normally when I arrive in places, they don't really bother me, they don't really spook me. I'd left my jumper in one of the rooms after we'd been filming Yvette's pieces to camera, and had to toddle off in to find my jumper, and I was really spooked. I can't really explain why, but the rooms, I don't know, they just seem really claustrophobic, and there is something about the various rooms, I don't know why, but especially room 7. When I went into room 7, I just wanted to just go straight out, and needless to say, I didn't find my jumper, because I didn't want to look for it after that.
It's interesting to note that during the weekends, a young child who lives here comes home at the weekends, and there does seem to be an increase in poltergeist activity, according to the owners of the Manor House. It's interesting because most poltergeist cases do have some kind of focus.
I'm normally very sceptical, but I've got a feeling this is going to be a really good one.
I've never come across, like an eyewitness or whatever who's that young for a start, and I think that's quite interesting.
It's quite a humbling thing, really. You listen to a 7-year-old boy talk about something that the majority of us will never ever experience, and you see he categorically states that this definitely happened to him. He's not making it up. He's still to this day scared of going up to his bed. He has. He says there's another entity within his room that is that counts from 10 down to 1, and then starts to chase him. So there's another child that wants to play with him. This used to be an orphanage. I wonder if that's got a connection to it. But I kind of there is a lot of thought. I know Phil was saying that there's there could be a connection more with the child than there is with the building about hauntings. But saying that, a lot of people have seen a lot of things at the bar, and even the landlord, who's a complete skeptic, more so than I, saw a dark shape only last weekend, walking through the bar and disappearing.
And it actually disappeared through the doorway outside and made for the trapdoor where the cellar is. And it disappeared down the cellar. Now, he was rather concerned about it and thought it may well have been some intruder. Didn't go down there and actually sat eating his pudding, looking through the window, waiting, and he waited half an hour. No one came out, and there was no other way in or out. Now, I've asked him about it and said, what do you think of it? And he said, I don't know. I can't explain it. Neither can we.
This is the 6th location we've been to, and we haven't had a holiday since the series started. We haven't had a holiday. I mean, we're talking the first series. I'm desperate for a holiday. Really, really, really need a holiday. And a dog.
So I think we've got a great investigation ahead of us, certainly an intense one, and let's hope things happen. Who knows, we might get our first manifestation of a ghost on camera. That's if there are any, of course.
Once darkness fell, the manor house seemed to change atmosphere. Some of the crew were still dubious as to whether we would experience anything paranormal. With the arrival of spiritualist medium Derek Okora, the team made their way over to the manor house to begin our investigation.
It's now 7 o'clock in the evening. The place is lovely, actually. It's not got a nasty feel to it, or at least I didn't think it had until I did a walk around with Ian when Ian arrived. And Ian picked up some really good stuff, things that I can sort of confirm that I have found in my research. Quite sad things about children, and especially in one of the rooms in the attic, I think it's room 8. He just walked in and just felt instantly upset, as if the room was used for nasty things. So, I can't. I'm quite looking forward to finding out what comes from that. the hole there.
Yes, see that hole?
Yeah.
As we go, whatever it is underneath there,
Yeah.
the souls, okay, that actually go in their numbers
Down
into
there.
that area.
Well, let's go down there.
We've just come back from the Derek's walk around with the night vision cameras. Excuse me. And he went into the cellar outside. Really small entrance, really awkward to get into. Really low ceiling. We all piled in there. Derek started talking about he could feel a presence in there. And then it all went crazy.
And we've had to stop filming because Yvette's had a very terrifying experience.
I heard a breath. Oh, something in my ear doing me down in the cellar. I've never been so terrified. Okay, so blah blah blah. Keep talking.
Okay.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Okay.
Down the back of my head. For fuck's sake, I'm not joking.
Yeah, watch your head, watch your head.
Please, let's get out. And I had to crawl on my hands and knees to get out of the cellar. And I just couldn't stop crying. It was awful. And I heard this like... that was the noise I heard. God, it was awful.
She was very, very upset. And, well, she's in tears basically. So she must have heard it. She seems totally, I mean, her reaction was totally convincing, so I can't not believe it. She won't go down there again, and I don't blame her really, because she's in a right state, to be honest. I've not seen her cry like this for, the whole time that I've been doing this series.
I'm trying to work it out rationally. I'm trying to work out exactly how it could have happened. But basically, Yvette's reaction was so violent, so frightened. She was so frightened from it. She was in tears. And I haven't seen her. I've never seen her react like that since I've worked on this program. And you can't fake that. You can't fake that. Honestly, it's one of those things. I can't imagine ever trying to fake a reaction like that. It was so spontaneous.
Which sort of scared me, and I was last to come out of the cellar as well, which I didn't really enjoy. Nothing happened to me, but it was quite interesting. And Derek's quite convinced that a lot of stuff's going to happen tonight.
This sounds... Was that the door? Oh my God, this sounds...
We've just done a walkabout now, a night walkabout. Some pretty crazy things have happened surrounding Derek.
It was very interesting. Things started kicking off with Derek.
Yes, that's what you want. Me. Derek.
We kind of had to hold him down. And he seemed to have got possessed twice by the same entity. He's this nasty person that's supposed to have allegedly murdered lots of people by hanging them from the stairwell.
And he basically got possessed, if you like, and started throwing the table lamp around, which narrowly missed one of the crew members. I don't know if it was Simon or John Dibley, but if it wasn't plugged into the wall, it could have been very, very dangerous, because that was the only thing that stopped it from actually hitting Simon in the face when it got to to the end of the cord and stopped abruptly. So if that hadn't been into the wall, plugged into the wall, you could have had that in the face.
He just went absolutely ballistic. And I know that Carl and Stuart dived in the first time and helped him, and then we all helped him on the bed. And then he started again. I know Carl had to like grab the top of him, and I had to grab his legs. But there was so much power in him. It was unbelievable. It was like every muscle in his body was just tense. Me, it was really, really frightening. And obviously, I nearly got a lamp in my head as well, which wasn't appreciated. So yeah, it could have been about me kicking. Me and Derek having a scrap. Yeah, it would have been interesting. Yeah, because I would have had a lamp in my head probably.
It's a bit worrying to me because I would have hoped in that kind of situation that Derek, through Sam, would have been able to control that a bit more and not put any of the crew in danger.
I got a bit concerned just the very thought of having a lamp being thrown in our direction. Yeah, it's quite hardcore, this sort of thing.
I know me and Stuart are actually going to be staying in room 8, so I think me and him are going to lock off the camera. So that'd be quite scary really after what went on with Derek. I suppose we'll see how the rest of the night goes.
Yes, that's what you want. Me.
Oh, Derek.
Derek,
Me. Derek, come forward.
I'll slit you. Get it.
Derek, come forward.
Derek,
Light, to get in.
I've got his arm, I've got his arm.
Come on, Derek. It's Carl. Come forward, Derek. It's Carl. Come forward. Derek. Derek and Cora, come forward. Derek, come forward.
His arm, so you're alright.
Come forward, Derek.
He has a stroke.
Come forward. So I'm going. Come on, Derek, calm down. Calm down. Derek and Cora, come forward. It's Carl. It's Carl. Yeah, I'm here. Come forward, Derek. Come forward. Come forward. Come forward. It's alright, Derek. It's alright, Derek. Can you hear me, Derek? Can you hear me, Derek? It's Carl. Good. Carl. Come forward, Derek. Come forward. Come on, you were the most talented team. You were Izzy and you were Phil. You were Stuart. Oh, God. Yeah. Okay?
Yes.
Just stay there. Don't move for a second. Oh, he's a bad one. He's a bad one. He's evil. He's evil. Right, can you help Derek up to the bed? Just let him lie down for a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Hold on. Up down. I'll show you that one. We've got to show you that one.
I hid behind someone and I saw you pick something up and I thought, that's coming over here.
Well, the trouble is, you told me not to do, because as soon as you got here, I thought you weren't Derek at all, you were someone completely different.
I've just picked that was
So
Rick's
I actually went
camera.
out and trying to stop you there and then, but eventually when I come back, let him go, let him do it, and I thought, well, okay, so I'll let you, that's when you picked up some answers.
All the muscle, every muscle in your body was just like your legs. It was like you could feel everything. And I thought it was like what your leg was just like.
Our experience in room 8 with Derek had left us terrified and reluctant to carry on. But whilst Derek rested, we knew we had to split up into groups to finish what we had started.
I just heard that what's happened to Rick, Carl and Stuart watching it with the television going on its own, so it's a bit strange.
I'm still in shock.
I had a lot of noise and screaming basically coming from room 8, which is where Carl and Stuart and Rick are doing a vigil.
It's really difficult to know what to say. We've just done a vigil in room 8, Rick, Stuart and myself.
I witnessed something which I didn't think was possible in all the 40 plus shows that I've done. God, where'd you start with it?
Something happened in that room.
Fucking hell!
I still don't know what it is. The rational side of me wants to try and make it right, but I think in reality there is no making it right.
I'm starting to get a little bit bullshit. Trying to entice or encourage some kind of reaction from whatever's in the room.
And we heard the odd bang and stuff like that. I know Carl got very cold at one point, but all the radiators are on in that room, and it is a very warm room. Stuart started getting headaches, and he was getting cold, and then I felt as if something had, grabbed my shoulders and, was pushing in on me.
If you want to use any of our bodies to communicate, please do so. I'm not scared of you. Do to me what you did to Derek. See how much...
Fucking hell!
Out of the blue, there was a bang coming from near the TV, like something crashing down on the side of the drawers.
Carl whipped the camera around, and then all of a sudden I just heard this noise of static and fuzz, and the bloody telly came on.
So instantaneously, all I did then, I just cowered down, I just put my head into the pillow, just basically wishing that I wasn't there.
How does the television turn on its own?
Members of the crew said, well, did you use a remote control? Well, no is the word for that one, because the remote control was on top of the TV. What it could have been, we don't know.
I don't really know what to say. It's probably one of the most frightening experiences of my life. And bearing in mind, for the last 2 years, we've basically lived in haunted properties.
In a way, I'm glad it's happened, because I thought I'd seen it all. I've seen nothing.
If you want to use any of our bodies to communicate, please do so. I'm not scared of you. Do to me what you did to Derek. See how much...
Fucking hell!
Shush, fuck. Christ!
What the fuck's going on?
No, this isn't funny.
No one's going to believe a fucking word of it. No
one's going to believe
Stu, come mate.
No one's going to believe fuck all. No one's going to believe fuck all.
The TV's gone on. What was that sound?
I'm not fucking...
No, it's caught.
I'm not...
It's caught.
Who's that?
Hang on.
Come here.
Control's on the top. The control is on the top, guys. Stu, you alright?
Chill.
The control is on the top. The control is on the top of this TV.
This is turned out to be a very, very interesting place. Very interesting. There's definitely something here. Definitely something. And it's not nice. Anyway, I location, wherever it may be. Until then, I'm going to bed.
I think I was going to tint my eyelashes for him actually when everybody's on a walk round because I need to feel nice and loved because I look who.
Rubbish, really.
What can I do?
Bollocks. Can't get it. I wonder if that's the present on this one.
Yeah, like, man, can I have a drag on your snout?